Daniel. Hi.
Hi, I'm Danny Krastek, I'm 16 years old, and I have food allergies. Food allergies basically are when a person's body just doesn't accept a certain food. For me, I'm allergic to eggs and nuts, and because of that, I am not able to eat eggs or nuts, and when I do, I get hives all over the place, my throat closes up. If I don't get the EpiPens or go to the hospital, it's potentially deadly.
When Danny was an infant, he showed some of the signs of having some allergies, dry skin.
He tended to break out from lotions, detergents, and then a few times when we were eating very specific food.
To know that we had someone in our family that had those kind of food allergies was a bit shocking in the sense that there's no family history there really on either side.
My entire life I've had to basically have to stand up for myself and be like, hey, can you not eat that near me? Because of that, I think it has helped me stand up for myself more, and I think that will be a very good life skill going forward.
We took the advice of the doctors and the medical personnel that were advising us.
On a daily basis, I have EpiPens, which if I eat something with eggs or nuts, I can stab myself in the leg with it. It injects the epinephrine into myself, which basically can help keep me alive. I have a drawstring bag and I carry the EpiPens in there.
I think the biggest discussion part had to be in how we educated others, family members, babysitters, his school.
Food allergies is when the body's immune system overreacts to a food. Generally that's eaten, but sometimes it's, if you're really allergic to something, even just bits of that food that you inhale or are nearby.
So obviously the biggest challenge is not being able to eat certain foods. The good thing is I know what I'm allergic to, so it's not like I'm completely on eggshells all the time.
We have to be very, very careful in going out to dinner. We have to be careful when he goes over to a friend's house to make sure that, not only does he not have those foods, but that those foods are not in a situation where he could come into contact with them.
He was over at a close friend's house and they were playing with the dog, and from what we think, the dog must have eaten either dog food or possibly some type of people food that had an allergen in it.
On the car ride home, I remember feeling little bumps on my face. I wasn't sure what they were and it was dark, so I couldn't really tell.
And by the time they got home, his throat was closing, he was swelling up.
So I came downstairs and said, Mom, what's going on? She basically was like, you're having an allergic reaction, stabbed me with the EpiPen, called 911.
I wasn't home when it happened, which was scary for me, just hearing about it and not being able to do anything about it.
That was a really emotional and terrifying experience. In the aftermath of that, I was very skittish, very on edge, very nervous.
Didn't want to go out and do things, didn't want to go over friends' houses, obviously, because the last time he did, he had this kind of situation.
At first, he was very, very nervous and anxious. He didn't want to leave the house. He didn't want to go back to school. And we just talked about how you couldn't control having food allergies, but you could control how you let that affect your life. And if you allow that to let you not go and do anything that you enjoy, you're really imposing the limitations on yourself.
You can't let this thing dominate your life. You can't let this one experience just dominate everything. If I was still being very on edge and skittish and stuff like that and didn't want to go do anything ever, I would probably have missed out on many, many things throughout the many years since then.
The good thing is medicine is always evolving and we're always learning new stuff. So some of the things you can do like a desensitization therapy where you get a tiny, tiny amount of the food and you sort of work up your way to get your body to be less reactive to it.
I know there are several organizations such as FAIR, which host walkathons and fundraisers and stuff like that to help raise money and spread awareness for food allergies and food allergy cures. Obviously, this is a really big problem that persists throughout millions of people worldwide. And so obviously a cure would be a good thing. I wouldn't go so far to say that I'm unlucky. Obviously there are some foods that I can't have. Other than that, I don't think my life has really been that much worse than anyone else's normal life. I actually think I've been quite fortunate with a lot of the experiences that I have been able to have. I just don't let the food allergies get me down. I just don't let it beat me.
Hi, my name is Danny Krastek. I jump in New York Central City and I also scuba dive in